All right, party people. All right, all right. I'm back again for a third video. Third video today. Y'all probably getting tired of me and everything, but I've been trying to do this video for like the last 3, 4 days, but things keep popping up. Um, I have to give a disclaimer. This is for informational purposes only. This is based off of information that I've researched, information that I'm now understanding a little bit better and clearer. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm not your attorney accountant. I'm not anybody's anything, but just your friend here on YouTube. So if you have any questions, seek out seek out legal counsel. Also seek out information from your state concerning the information I'm going to share. Also, reach out to the National Notary Association and ask them, and even ask the person who trains you. In other words, don't just take my word for it, do your research. But I'm going to do the best I can to bring you the necessary receipts to support what I'm going to share with you. And it's nothing cryptic, it's nothing spooky or anything of that nature. It's just information that I found, and I just wanted to share it with y'all and give y'all my perspective concerning the information. All right, cool. So, as we all know, the big battle right now is whether or not we who have been certified, well, been commissioned by our state and certified by the NNA, how far do we go with this here document explanation of the loan closing? How far do we go? Where is it at? Because there's this big battle, in my opinion, of notary signing agents versus loan signing agents. What's the difference? Where's the dividing line? What makes one better than the other? What makes one more popular than the other? All of that. So I was on the NNA site a couple of days ago, about a week ago, maybe a little bit less, and I saw, and they had information about Virginia notaries. I think they got a new handbook out or some information that I hadn't seen before. And I went through the information and share this here to y'all. Da, da, da. So as I'm going through for Virginia, this here is talking about Virginia. So here it's talking about real estate practices, and it says notary signing agent. So I said, okay, let me see what this says. And then it clearly says under Virginia Real Estate Settlement Act, Agents Act, any person conducting a settlement in a real property transaction, including notary signing agents, must be a licensed title insurance agent for the Commonwealth. According to the Virginia Bureau of Insurance, the handling of settlement funds, including the passing of a check for settlement costs from a borrower to a notary signing agent, requires a title insurance license and an appointment from the title insurance company. Only attorneys, real estate brokers, financial institutions authorized to do business in Virginia under Title 55 or under federal law or licensed title insurance companies and agents may perform real estate closings, COV 55-525.19. I do not have a license. I am not a licensed title insurance agent in the Commonwealth. Therefore, as a notary signing agent, and in this case, it doesn't say anything about loan signing agent, it says a notary signing agent, I am not allowed to conduct closings, especially if I'm going to get a check. If I'm going to be handling the check, the closing cost money, I cannot. It requires a title insurance and an appointment from a title insurance company. Then it goes on to says the requirement for title insurance includes a minimum of $250,000 coverage through the errors and omissions or malpractice insurance policy, and a minimum of $100,000 of coverage through a blanket fidelity bond or employee dishonesty insurance policy, and a surety bond of not less than $200,000. And there's a little whatever code of Virginia, I think that COV stands for. I ain't got none of that. That's a lot more money there, ain't it, folks? See, y'all talking about just being a notary. This here, this costs. Now, this is Virginia. So here's the kicker. Since the Virginia Bar Association, that's the lawyers, has expressed no formal opposition to witness closings, some notary signing agents do manage to operate in the Commonwealth without a title insurance license, but only in transactions that do not require them to handle settlement checks. If closing checks are involved, some signing services even instruct their signing agents to give overnight express envelopes to borrowers so that the borrower themselves may forward the required settlement check without it being handled by the signing agent. So we ain't supposed to be touching no money. We ain't supposed to be touching no money. We are not supposed to be touching any money, for those who don't like the other way I was saying it. So I said, ooh, what is this? What does that mean? Honestly, new term for me. Not saying that it's new in the book. I must have missed it somewhere along the line. So I said, okay, it's time for some research. So I went to researching witness closings, and all kinds of stuff came up there, talking about a regular witness and all that kind of stuff. So let me pump this up a little bit. Boom, boom. All right. So it clearly says here, the use of a witness closing or signing slash notary service, and this here is from 2015, has become much more common in recent years. It is often used where buyers and sellers live long distances from each other, and one party or another, or both, use a witness closer to avoid the time and expense of traveling to a central location. So this part here talks about properties being sold by, foreclosing and all of that. So that doesn't apply to us. Then it says another common use of a witness closer for the is for some of the online or nationwide lenders who need to close a loan that are in cities where they do not have a branch office. So online meaning not e-notary, and isn't talking about Ron. This is talking about people who conduct online mortgage lenders or nationwide lenders who are doing operations across the country. They need to have loans closed, but they don't have an office in a particular city. So for situations like these, the seller or lender will use a third party to witness the execution of the documents, completion of acknowledgments, and return of the documents. Those documents delivered to the witness closer are typically for a sale or refinance transactions. They include deeds, loan documents, mortgages, notes, disclosures, affidavits, and settlement statements prepared by the seller or the lender. Here is an important distinction from a standard escrow closing. The witness closer does not handle funds, search or examine title, or prepare or retain documents. Their function is only to witness the signing of those documents sent to them by others. In this role, they are not prepared or qualified to answer any questions about the documents being presented. They are not responsible for their content. The witness may, however, at the discretion of the closing agent, request any amount due from the borrower as shown in the settlement statement and forward same to the seller as directed, which to me, that right there is a contradiction because it's saying we ain't supposed to handle funds. So I don't know, maybe they mistyped that. But in Virginia, as we already saw, which that's why I led off with that, we ain't touching no money. So, and then down here it talks about the company Signature title, how they provide witness closing services for situations where it is needed. We can offer this at any of our 3 offices or if a special handling is required, we can offer this at a location more convenient to a customer who is not mobile, dot, dot, dot. So when I saw that, a lot of lights came on in the head. And I'm just leaving this up here for a minute so you can look it over. This is what I learned that I'm supposed to be doing. Even though I didn't understand the term witness closer or closing, I hadn't heard it. But this is the way I was taught that I should do it. This is what I learned that I'm supposed to do. Now, and I'm going to go into the loan signing stuff a little bit later. Okay. So stick with me. So just looking at this, now the question becomes, what is my state requirements? Does my state require me? And again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a notary expert. I'm not NNA. I'm just asking questions based off of the information that I'm researching and I found. And when I found it, these are the questions that I started asking myself. Who am I supposed to listen to? The person who trained me, paid me, or commissioned me? Because if my state says I'm supposed to do this, and the person paying me asked me to do something contrary to that, and the person who's training me asked me to, is telling me to do something contrary to what the state says, who do I listen to? Based on several conversations I've had with the NNA, when I've been faced with things like that, they always told me you go by what your state allows you to do because you are commissioned to do dot, dot, dot. So if I'm commissioned to only do this, but you're asking me to do more, now I got a decision to make. We all got a decision to make. Do we abide by the laws of this state? Do we abide by them? I mean, because it said clearly, I ain't supposed to be touching no money. So if in Virginia, if you ask me to do something other than this, when I don't have any of this, there's a problem. So I need to, so now the question is, will I get this, all of this, in order to play with them funds? And I'm just using the word play just to mess around, but in order to handle those funds and to conduct this closing. Now, that's a lot more money involved in this. This here part, paragraphs 1 and 2 is a lot more money. Are you going to pay me more money to do this? That should garner, that should mean I'm getting more money, but it may not. So the big question I started asking myself, I said, so what that means then, my responsibility level, and let me switch on over to y'all, my responsibility level as a witness closer is a lot less. The lower your responsibility level is, the lower you pay. This makes sense to me. Please say in the comment section whether you agree or disagree. So if my responsibility level is here, I shouldn't expect pay up here. I want pay up here, then my responsibility level has to go up. And if my responsibility level goes up, what is the liability that I face? What is the liability level that I face with that? That's the question that, okay, that is the question that is now being asked. I want higher pay. My state and what I'm allowed to do is here. So to get higher pay, I got to do something. So am I going to do what it takes to get the higher pay, or am I going to try to operate down here or stay down here legally with this level of responsibility, and then behind closed doors take on more responsibility to get the higher pay? Still, and that takes you back into that insurance question that we had those previous 2 videos I did. What acts are you doing as a notary that you want covered, or a loan signing agent that you want covered, that you are doing? So as a witness closer, If I'm sitting up here saying I need protection against me, changing stuff or telling them stuff, well, first of all, am I supposed to even be doing that? And if I am, cool. If I'm not, then I can't. So for somebody to me in the state of Virginia to sit here and say, I ain't getting off my couch unless I'm getting $150 a pop, but your responsibility level is not that of 150, you might not get it. So now I understand why one particular company throws out there all those $85 ones. And then if they can't find anybody, they'll bump it up. Not because your responsibility level go up, because the urgency is there. And then you got some companies that's like, we just gonna pay 125, 150. We got it that way, you know? And okay. So that's how they value my role as a witness closer in the state of Virginia. That's what they say. I'm sitting here like, okay, the wheels are turning now. I'm like, so I got to be mindful of what I'm supposed to be doing here in the state of Virginia, which I knew, but I didn't know it to this level. I didn't understand, what I just read and all of that. So I'm like, all I'm gonna say is for your state, you need to find out. I'm not even going to even pretend like even use any other state as an example. I'm just talking about my state. Matter of fact, I'm really just talking to Virginia notaries. So if you happen to be listening and you live somewhere else, please check with your state and find out. You can always ask the signing company that calls you, hey, are you having me operate as a witness closer? Yes, we are. No, we're not. Now, if you're working directly with an escrow company, a title company, that's a little bit different. And I'm going to show you that shortly. So, sharing the screen again. Oh, yeah. I found this on Notary Rotary. Somebody was asking a question, but I got the answer that somebody put up there, and I'll get to that later. So, witness closing. Let me bump this up a little. Make sure everybody can see that clearly. Witness only closing. Buyers and sellers involved in a mortgage or loan closing. What is it? The providing of a notary public for the limited purpose of obtaining signatures and proof of IDs at real estate closings. Why it matters? Any loan or mortgage closing is required by law to be witnessed by a notary public. I'm just letting this sink in. This is what I've been sharing with y'all the whole time. And there's information and I can't find it. There's specific information that goes into this. We're required by law. That's why if you are a commissioned notary, you can witness loan closings. If Earl Jones, and it's just a little side story. The reason why I keep using the name Earl, there was a guy when I was a kid. We was in this school and down in Jacksonville, Florida, called Cooper's Academy. It was a little church school. And basically it was a school for people who got in trouble. And I was one of those kids who got in trouble. And there was this guy named Earl. And Earl didn't like me. And every day Earl was trying to fight me for whatever reason. And Earl at the age of 12, 13 years old was built like Mike Tyson. Dude was just cocky. So I can't say that I beat him or he beat me. All I know is we would fight a couple of times a week. And that's where I get the name Earl. And his name was Earl. I don't even know what his last name was, didn't care. But that's why I always use that name Earl, because Earl was my arch nemesis. And the dude was just seriously built like Mike Tyson. He might have been Mike Tyson's dad at the age of 12. I don't know. But that dude wasn't no joke. Okay. But that's why I always use the name Earl. Um, so if you have a title company by Earl Jones Title and Escrow, they can have notaries in there to conduct loan closings. And they may not be NNA certified. They may not have had all this extra training out here, this loan signing agent training. So it doesn't invalidate them because they're not all of these other trainings certified, NNA certified. They can do loan closings because they're commissioned notary in the state, and notary publics are required by law. And many people that's on this channel who are in the mortgage industry can attest to that. And even I talked to the NNA, and they attested to it, and they even said that because of all of this stuff with the loan closings over the last several years, didn't go into detail, that lenders are requiring notaries to be certified for the work that they're doing. I know notaries who could not get certified through the NNA because they had some legal stuff in their background. They ended up still doing loan closings, but more so for local companies or companies who didn't necessarily care whether you had the NNA certification. And it's a young lady down in North Carolina, and from my last I talked with her, she was doing fairly good with it. I know a person that was up here in Virginia who was not NNA certified, and signing companies were sending her out because she had everything, but she hadn't finished her background check or the NNA certification part yet, and they used her, and she was making money. Okay, so we are required by law, and I'm still trying to find that law. And if y'all stumble across it, let me know. So we are necessary, we're needed. So this concept of you can't make money in this business unless you get all of this other. I created a training course certification, and that's what to me, that's what I call it. You know, a person said, "Hey, I created a training course, and guess what? You get certified by me, you can make money." A lot of them are teaching you how to market the business, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I really do think that that is necessary, depending on the area you're in. Um, but for us Virginia notaries, if you're looking at this and you're like, "Oh, oh," so now you got to understand why it might be a little difficult to go direct, because they're looking for you to be a witness closer. Now, let's take this a little deeper. They want you to operate as a witness closer. You're coming in there with all of your training certificates and all of your other certificates. They're like, "I don't know if we can use you because you might go beyond the scope of a witness closer." That's why I share with notaries, don't go in if you're trying to be direct, don't go in there talking about all of this other stuff that you doing, going in there saying how you're going, I'm gonna come in and I can support you in doing your job. I can come in and I can fill this out and I can fill that out. So you go into a Virginia title and escrow company that is only looking for you to be a witness closer, irregardless of what they're gonna pay you. And you come in saying, "I'm going to do all of this. I'm going to fill out these forms. I'm going to fill out that form. You ain't got to do this because this is blank. Don't worry, I got it." And they're like, "That is not what we want from you. That is not a $40 thing." So this here, okay, I'm serious. This is $40 in Virginia Beach walk-in recording. So basically, they want somebody, I guess, to go to the courthouse and record a deed tomorrow at 8 a.m. And I would say yes to it, but what's tomorrow? The 25th? Yeah, see, I got a 9 a.m., so it might take longer. So I can't do that one. Honestly, I would. $40 just to walk in, do the recording. I did that. Might have broke the notary pay system again, but hey, it'll get fixed. Now, so how you market yourself is very important. So if you're over marketing yourself, saying how you're going to come in and do their job when they know you're not supposed to be doing that, to me, that would indicate that you don't know your role in the state of Virginia as a notary. Now, it's not my job as the title officer or the business owner to educate you on that. But you coming in saying, "Hey, I'm coming in and I can do this for you and I can do that for you and I got you." When I market myself, I just say, "Hey, I'm here to help you expand your business. That if you need a notary closer, no, a notary loan closer, a notary signing agent, I forget which term I use, to help close loans when you can't get with your attorney or your in-house notaries, please feel free to give me a call. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to accommodate your clients." And more often than not, they all say, "Well, we got people here already. We really don't use mobile notaries. We don't really need them." Okay, thank you. But if you ever, just let me know. I come across people say, "I'm here to expand your business, help you expand your business," where instead of you trying to make them come from one city all the way over to you, I can go to them. I have a mobile printer set up, dot, dot, dot. That's my marketing. I'm not sitting there talking about what I'm going to do when I come into your office, what I can fill out, what I can I'm not even talking about that. That has never crossed my mind. So if you're in a place, Virginia notaries, where they know what you're supposed to do and you're communicating information that is nowhere near what that handbook that I showed you says, hmm, lips a little dry. There's no there's no reason to get upset if they don't pick you, because they're like, "What are you talking about? You gonna do what?" "Nah, chief, I'm good. I'm good." "Nah, we got 800 notaries back there." And you look around the corner and all you see is Miss Agnes back there signing and stamping, like asking you to help her. And they like, "Nah, you ain't going back there because you're gonna be doing some stuff and have you and Miss Agnes sitting up there messing these documents up." So that's the thing. What is your state asking you to do? So, all right. So to this one, Superior Notary Services. I'm sure many of you understand that. So let me bump this up. All righty. So it goes in all this. I don't feel like reading all that. So it says here, the difference between loan signing agents and notary publics. There's a difference. Here's the difference. Loan signing agents are notary publics who are certified to assist the lender in guiding the borrower through their loan documents. They might help answer any questions the customer has about their loan, whether it's for a vehicle or a home or a business. Notary publics, on the other hand, do not have the additional certification. That means notaries do not have the ability or expertise to provide information to their customers, so their job is to only confirm parties' agreements and witness signatures of legal documents. If you're unsure whether your document or contract requires a notary public or an expert loan signing agent, then check out this quick guide in the difference of the difference in ability between the two. So that goes into a lot of the training that's out there. Okay. And I get it. I get it. But if your state says no, who you gonna listen to? Outside of and then the thing is, the okay, you say, "Well, that's why I'm taking this particular loan course." Got it. But it also talks about different loans for vehicle or a business. So are you certified, and do you know your loan training? Are they teaching you to do those type of documents? Now, from my understanding, everybody who's out there is talking about mortgages, but are they talking about a vehicle? Are they talking about a business? Because businesses can buy buildings and other things and all of that. So what is the loan for? The loan, I mean, I'm not saying businesses buy buildings. I'm talking about businesses can take on loans. My bad. I'm thinking something else. The businesses can get a loan. They can borrow you can get a $250,000 loan. So that's a different type of loan. And see, this is something that I've been saying all along. And I believe I've been saying here, but I've been talking when I've been talking to people. It says loan. So when you say you're a loan signing agent, that could be any loan. It's not just mortgages. There's vehicle loans, there's home loans, there's a business loan. So what type of loan are you talking about? It's talking about any of those. Now, where do you get the additional certification or the training so that you can properly do these loans as a loan signing agent and explain them and guide them? Now, the question is, are you allowed to in your state? You can be trained to do whatever, but if you are not allowed to do something in your state, or the people who hire you don't want you to do it, then how can you sit here and force your way into doing something that you ain't supposed to be doing? So it says a notary public is a public officer constituted by law who is certified to witness and confirm the signing of legal documents. And many of you are probably like, oh yeah, because many of you who talk to me have heard me say that we in Virginia says you're able to sign and witness and confirm important documents. You know, sometimes they say legal, but a legal important document. When you work with a notary public, they will serve three important purposes. Oh, let me highlight that right there. Let me highlight that. Okay, I'm gonna highlight that. Important, because there's a lot of people out there that's training like notary publics. If you're not a loan signing agent, your role in a lot of things is diminished. Important, confirming the identities of the participating parties. That's important. Witnessing signatures between them. That's important. Signing off on the validity of the agreement, whether it's a power of attorney or what have you. And then it talks about where they got the image from. These are different documents. So it says, while notary publics are responsible for verifying identities and witnessing signatures, they are also certified to administer oath and affirmations, as well as certified copies of essential documents. Some of the documents that a notary may sign off on: financial, closing documents, loan closing documents, property deeds, loan documents, will, trust, power of attorney, court documents, vendor contracts, leases, contract construction agreements, employment contracts. Boy, that's a lot of good general notary work. So why are you pigeonholing yourself with just mortgages? Just a side note. You will notice that a notary public can witness loan signings, which might beg the question, what do loan signing agents do then? While signing agents can also notarize loan documents, they're able to walk the borrower through the process and the agreement. I get it. So if you're a person who wants to do that and you enjoy doing that and you want to sit here and talk and all of that, then be a loan signing agent and make sure that wherever you're at in your state or whatever state you're in, you're allowed to do it. But if you're in a state where you're not allowed to do it, then you do what you got to do to make the money. And if they're willing, and if they're not going to pay you $300 just to be the notary signing agent versus the loan signing agent, then maybe you need to bounce out this business. Because if it's all about, that's going back to my thing. Are you a per signing or per month? Because you can make money as a notary who's not a loan signing agent. You may have to do a lot more signings, but you can still make 6, 7, 8 grand. Remember the guy Pablo out there in Colorado that they did an interview with, doing $100,000 a year, 110, and he's doing averaging $100 a pop. So it all depends on what your goal is. So that means he's pulling in 19, almost 10 grand a year. Okay, I mean a month. Sorry about that. So it says how to become a notary public, all of that. What is a loan signing agent? And then it talks about here, check out the state requirements. So you got to know the state requirements. Then it goes into, it says, loan signing agent is a notary public with a level of certification that allows them to guide the borrower through the loan process. All LSAs must become familiar with how the loan process works so that they are able to accurately assist the lender in explaining the contract to the customer. Now, bottom line is this. I've talked to at least 250 different, not different time, different, maybe 250 different individuals concerning this. I'm not leaving the house until I can explain the documents. I'm not taking a signing until I know what the document is talking about. Let me come over to y'all for a second. It still boils down to, what does your state allow you to do? And this ain't got nothing to do with Griff's feelings about anybody's training out there. What have I always said? I'm fine with the training. What I don't necessarily agree with is the lack of full disclosure. So if anybody out there training anybody or asking you to pick them up for training, even the mentors, I have to include them, the mentors. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just sharing. I'm not a notary specialist. I don't work for the NNA. I'm just sharing my thoughts based on the information that I've discovered, that I found for myself. And I'm just having a conversation with you. Maybe I should have had a little fireplace in the background to make it a little bit more, and throw on one of those little thick sweaters and all of that, and get an ascot. But the bottom line is this. You want to do the loan, so, and people's like, I can't go out unless I know this. Is that required by your state? And is that required by the people who are hiring you? Remember, I've said you can learn these documents front, back, up, and down, corner to corner, edge to edge. But if you're sitting in front of a customer and all they say is, I just need to sign and get out of here, and they don't want you to explain anything, can you handle it? Are you willing to do that? But if you're like, oh, no, 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 I got to explain. If the people who hired you to send you out there told you, just get the document signed because we got to get this thing done and shipped, but you're like, well, no, I gotta explain, I gotta make sure they understand what they're signing. If your state does not require you to do that, or if you don't meet the requirement for your state in order to do that, then don't. Stay in your lane. There you go. Lane was a little crooked. Stay in your lane. That's what I'm learning from all of this. So here's the loan contract. And then it says signing agents usually work. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm sorry. Since LSAs are certified to assist borrowers in closing loans and notarize the agreement, they are most prominent in the mortgage and real estate industries. But these agents might also specialize in other areas, in other industries and processes, including selling packages. Ooh, what is that? What is that? What is that? What is that I see right here? It's called a loan modification that y'all run away from. Stop running away from the loan modifications. I just made that up on the spot, y'all. But look what it says. Loan modifications. Loan modifications. And how many people have come at me, man, they ain't doing no loan modification. They ain't enough money. Right there. Reverse mortgages, commercial loans. And I've done a commercial loan. So as a signing agent, I can do a commercial loan. I can do that as a note. I can do that. And I did. Nothing to explain. I was like, sign, had 6 daggone D's in there and notes, but I did it. So it goes on and says here, signing agents usually work at dealerships, banks, mortgage loan companies, so that they are always available on site, but it's not uncommon for mobile LSAs to meet businesses and clients on call. Yeah, y'all know it. Go on and say it. That's what Griff has been saying. When you talk about going direct, that's talking about being direct. When you're direct, you got to be there for them. If you're going in saying, I'm going to be your loan signing agent, you got to be there for them. And in some cases, they want you to be an employee of them. So now you are a loan signing agent running a loan signing agent business. And now they're asking you to be an employee. Are you going to give up your business to be an employee for that dealership? Or are they going to work with you and say, hey, you can be mobile and do your thing wherever. And then when we call you, if you're able to come over here, boom. Which means then as a business owner, if I'm the car dealership, I'm going to have about 3 to 4, maybe 5 loan signing agents available to me on a moment's notice if I can't get any of them to physically work and just sit there from 9 to 5 in my building. You get what I'm saying? So that's where we're at with this. My thing is simply this. You need to know what you're allowed to do and where you're allowed to do it. Let me show y'all this one last thing. So this is what this person put in Notary Rotary. And if you search witness closing, it'll come up and you have to click through and all of that. But they said witness closing is a way to ensure the notary knows her role or slash his role in the closing, especially in title license driven states. And I believe that will be Virginia. Most times when advertising my services to title companies, I use the notary witness closer or agent to avoid any confusion as to what I am there to do. I witness and notarize signatures. I do not have the authority, bond, or capacity to do anything else. No free reign here, like in some states. So, party people, I don't know what else to say. For me, that information is a game changer. It's a confirmation, a validation. It is the foundation in which I can stand on and say, hey, look, as a notary signing agent, this is where I'm at. I have no problem being a getting a title insurance and all that, but it's a lot more money, and there's no guarantee that I'm going to get the business. I'm gonna go get paid. I can get the business, but there's no guarantee I'm going to get paid. So now I'm this title producer or this title insurance person here in Virginia. And then they say, yeah, we got this closing. Well, hey, I'm this. So instead of 85, you're gonna have to pay me 150. Now, if their budget is like, we ain't paying for 150. Matter of fact, we're not asking you. We just want you as a witness closer. So how am I gonna get more money? Now, that's where you talk about going direct, which means you're taking on more responsibility. And again, that goes into the insurance. With that more responsibility, are you going to have the top cover? As we saw earlier when we talked about the insurance, it said that some of these companies don't cover you. So the one company, the ER Monroe, I think, Monroe, MUNROE, Monroe, they said one of the things that you're not covered is when you are explaining the documents. So I'm sort of answering my own question. So the question is, what are loan signing agents asking to be covered for? And it appears you are asking to be covered for all of that stuff that I read in there, explaining the documents, walking them through, because if you mess around and misquote the terms or the interest rate or any of that, and the buyer of the car is like, oh, well, I thought I was getting 2.5%, and you misquoted and you told me, and I'm thinking that, and then I come back and the document says 3.75, or you say something wrong and it causes the deal to go south, and now the company is like, okay, you just caused us to lose this deal because you didn't explain the documents right. So yes, that makes sense that you want insurance to cover that kind of stuff. I ain't trying to go there. I'll be happy with my 105, 110, 125, 85 times 20 times I've done it and still make my 6 to 8 grand, maybe 10 grand. I don't have a problem working. But now if you want to kick back and chill like you drinking mimosas all day, then you need to go and get all that loan signing stuff and find the right type of training and get yourself all bumped up in that so that you can go head on and just do 3 signings a day, make $500 a pop, and then you can go home and play with the dog and cat. If that's a possibility, then do it. I'm all for it. But if you don't have the proper liability coverage to protect you if you make a mistake, if you have them sign on the wrong line, if you have somebody signing they ain't supposed to be signing and all that, because see, it's the contract part that's going to get you into trouble now with your loan signing agent that you didn't explain stuff right. You can be a master notarizer, but if you don't explain stuff right or you off your game that day. So that's it, people. I want to hear from y'all. You tell me. I know what my role is here in Virginia. So I'm sticking with that. So to me, for me, that ends the discussion about loan signing agent versus notary signing agent. We clearly see, and I'll put the links to all of that in the description. It we clearly see. I don't know what else you need to know. So you determine how you want to be. Loan signing, notary, but the thing is this. When you are conducting that loan closing, how do the people want you to conduct it? And what is your state authorize you to do? And if your state hasn't authorized you to do what you're trying to do, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And even if you have insurance, the thing is, if you're guilty, well, I got insurance to protect me. Okay, yeah, it might take you to court and all this, but the bottom line, if you're guilty for doing something that you shouldn't have been doing, and why I'm going to cover you for something that you're not allowed to do in the first place? Why would I pay out anything because you shouldn't have been doing that? So why I'm going to pay for you doing something that you shouldn't have been doing, and you know you shouldn't have been doing it. And if you didn't know, it's your responsibility to know, but you want my money to cover your mistake. Mm-mm, that ain't happening. So y'all have a good night. This will be my last video for the day. Peace.